Hi.
That's my daughter.
My dad. So, where were you born, Dad?
Oil City, Pennsylvania. I was the first baby born on New Year's Day. And I won all the prizes in the town.
Yeah.
However, my father used them all. He got cigars from stores and paint, and I didn't get anything. So that's probably why I had later taken up cigars. You don't believe that, do
No,
you?
I don't believe that at all.
Okay.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Did you just come up with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Off the top of my head.
So, what was it like when you were a child?
Oh, I had a wonderful life as a child. We lived on top of a mountain called Hassan Heights in Pennsylvania. And we had woods, we had rivers, we had streams, we had it all. We had baseball diamonds and swimming pools and ice skating rinks. And we just got up in the morning, went out, and we were gone all day until nighttime. When the street lights came on, then we'd come in to dinner. Couldn't have been a better life. No one could have. But we enjoyed ourselves. We weren't in any city or anything. It was gorgeous. We had a few problems with my brother.
Jack?
Yeah.
You want to share some of those?
Well, Jack had some problems when he was younger. And I looked out the window to a second story building and looked out the window, and I saw my brother down there stacking wood up alongside the house. So I turned around and told my mother, Jack's going to burn down the house. And he was. He was planning on lighting the wood, burn down the house. The other things he would do is catch a bee and take the wings off, then put it on the ground and cover it with grass. And when I'm barefoot and gullible, he'd say, go over there and stamp on that grass. And of course I get stung. But he turned out to be a nice brother. I like my brother a lot now. He was a little mean when we were younger. But I think I trained him. I boxed with him and beat him up. He's never done anything mean to me since then. So that's it.
What about your relationship with Leslie, your sister?
She was my protector. She protected me from my brother. She got a brand new bike, and I asked her whether I could ride it. She hadn't even ridden the bike yet. And I took off on the bike and went to my neighbor's house, and they had gravel. And I hit the gravel and skidded and scraped myself up real bad and scraped the bike all up brand new. Emily next door picked me up in her arms and carried me home. And my sister Leslie saw me once and got blood all over me, and she said, how's Matt doing? Didn't even ask about her bicycle at all. Brand new. But that's the kind of girl she was. She was always taking care of me, watched out for me, took my side on a lot of things that she's probably regretted. I miss her terribly.
What about Wendy?
Wendy has a big heart, would do anything in the world for anyone, and does. She's a good kid. Married to a nice husband, Howard. They've been together for a long time through thick and thin. They've had two boys, and they're both married now. She lives in Columbus, Ohio, and she's really great. My other sister, Trish, lives here in Florida, in Riverview. She's a doll. There isn't anyone that would have a problem with Trisha. Her and I have been very close. Still are.
Can we go back to Wendy for a second? You used to tell me a story about Wendy and coming down the stairs in a dress. You want to share that?
Is she going to see this? Yeah, Wendy, in those days, were known as hippies. She went to Ohio State University. And she married a hippie, which was Howard. And my wife and I were in Columbus, and we were going to take her out to dinner. I forget the occasion, but a special occasion. And so we went out during the daytime and bought her a dress because she didn't have a dress. And the restaurant was in a lower level, and there were stairs that came down, wound down to the level where the restaurant was. And she comes out in her red dress, looked gorgeous, started to walk down the stairs. And her legs, she didn't shave. I didn't know that. So she had hairy legs. And I sat there, oh my God. But I said to myself, if it doesn't bother her, it's not going to bother me. But she looked tremendous in the dress. And we had a good evening. But I had to get by that myself. That's just me personally. So that's that story. The other story is the one with Trish and Frank. You know which one I'm talking about? We had, at my house in Atlanta, we had everyone back home. So we had all the kids and everything. And Heidi's girl, Morgan, was there. She was small. After dinner, Frank, which is Trisha's husband, came in and sat down. He had a whoopee cushion where he had a button, and so he can make it sound like a fart. And he sat there and pressed that, and Morgan was sitting in front of him, and he says, "Oh, excuse me, I got some gas. Oh, it's terrible, terrible, terrible gas." And she says, "Oh, is there anything I can do?" "No." And then he pressed it again. "Oh my God." And then she would go, "Oh my God, it smells." And she'd hold her nose. And this went on for probably a half hour. It was just funny as hell. He got a lot of mileage out of that.
Yes, we did.
Too bad we didn't video that.
That would have been funny.
That's the greatest.
Where did you go to school?
Well, I went to high school at Frontier Central in Buffalo, New York. We lived just about a block off the Lake Erie, where the beach was. So we spent a lot of time at the beach in high school. I worked for a pharmacy there after school. So the whole way through high school I worked right after school. To earn my money to buy my 56 Chevy convertible, black and white. It was a gorgeous car, and naturally acquired a lot of friends.
And what about, did you play softball or baseball?
Baseball. Yeah, Low League World Series. We played in that, and I pitched a no-hit, no-run game. That was a big thing. My mother had clippings from newspapers and stuff. But threw my arm out because in those days you pitched every game, where now they only allow you to pitch 2 or 3 games in a row. So I ended up playing second base, shortstop. Loved baseball.
What about college?
Went to St. Petersburg Junior College, and then I went to Florida State University, and then I went to Michigan State University. Graduated from Michigan State University in criminal justice. And that's what led me into a career with the Lansing Police Department for 20 years.
What are some of the things you liked about working for the police department?
Let me think. No, they were good. Good people, good officers. We had lots of parties and funs. A lot of companionship. Yeah. We went camping with a lot of them, and that's how you learned how to camp. You'd come over and say, will you take me over so I can meet those girls? And I'd say, no, you're going to have to do that yourself. And eventually you got enough nerve, and then after that, whenever we went camping, you were gone. You're over that shyness.
Some of your stories from Metro? Any of those? Like what was the big one, drug bust in DeWitt?
Well, we followed some watermelon trucks in and figured that they were smuggling dope. And they went to a house up by the airport there in DeWitt. And they were down in the basement cutting things up, and we crawled through the weeds because we needed to get eyes on what they were doing in order to raid the house. And we found we could look in the windows and see them cutting up everything. We got back, and then we raided the house and got the biggest drug bust at that time in the state of Michigan. We tried to make an indent in drugs and stuff, and I don't think we made a big dent in the drug traffic at all. I don't even know whether we should even try. That's about it.
Or why did you get out of it being Metro?
They only leave you in there for a certain period of time, 5 or 7 years. I think I was in there for 8 years. And then I went into crime analysis. They wanted to start up a crime analysis unit, and I started that unit with Captain Yolk, which was a mentor for me. Mm-hmm. And we developed a pretty good crime analysis section. And then 911 came along and Central Dispatch ideas, and they took me from crime analysis and made me the director of communications, and I worked in there for 10 years until I retired.
And what did you do after you retired there?
I became unemployed. I got involved in real estate in Georgia. A friend of mine, we decided to go down to the Carolinas and buy some condos on the ocean. And we got down there, and we were at the hotel bar, talking to the bartender and everything, telling him what we wanted to do. And he said, well, the city council is meeting in the other room. When they're through, they usually come in here. Why don't you guys buy them some drinks and talk to them? Which we did. There were some pretty hefty drunks, but we found out that the land going like 100 yards off the current beaches, they were going to do some reclamation. They got some funds from the government. And so if we bought on the ocean right here, we'd be 100 yards off the ocean by the time that's done. So we decided then we'll go to the mountains. And we looked on a map and saw that Blue Ridge, Georgia had a beautiful lake and mountains. And that's where we went. We went up there and we started to build some cabins. We built some cabins up there, invested some money, and we ended up moving to Atlanta, and I bought into a Remax franchise. We ended up with five offices and about 125 realtors. And that's what I retired from. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. Hopefully I was a good dad.
You're a great dad.
Tell me.
You're an amazing dad.
Tell me more.
You taught me a lot of values and morals in life. And I think the responsibility that I grew up with is all because of you. And that's what I'm trying to do with my kids. And I think we're...
It's a good answer.
Yeah, it's true.
No, I'll pay you.
got married?
Which sign?
Both.
I mean, do I remember?
Yeah, well, I was born in 66.
So it wasn't in 66.
No, definitely wasn't in 66.
Vicki and I got married in Clearwater at the Fort Harrison, I think it is, hotel.
Uh-huh.
Ernie and Gail were there, and my parents were there, and Jack was there. You were there. No. It was a nice wedding. Very, very quiet.
Where was your honeymoon?
Don't think we had one. What we did is we moved up to Buffalo.
Okay.
I got a job loading beer trucks. My next door neighbor owned the place. Then after Buffalo, we went back to Florida. We lived in Clearwater in the house over there. And I got a job working for the Clearwater Police Department as a jailer and a dispatcher. And your mother was a nurse. She graduated and was a nurse at the hospital. Then I decided to get my degree in criminal justice and looked up what colleges had the very best courses, and it was either Michigan State or Arizona. I didn't want to go to Arizona, too far away from family. So we went to Michigan, and I went to Michigan State.
So what finds you here in Florida now?
Unfortunately, my wife, Vicki, number 2, passed away, and I wanted to come and be with family and friends, and I have family down here. You guys. And there's Abby and Trish and Jack. And I feel like Jack's wife passed away, and I can probably help him a lot and make his days easier, and he can help me. So I think it was a smart thing to do.
Yeah. You excited to get your house?
I'd be excited if I could walk again. Come down to Georgia and break my hip and go back to Atlanta and get a stroke. I'm afraid to go anyplace, so it better be to my house. Yeah, it'll be nice. We're moving in this weekend. And I know Mark just absolutely loved me to get into my place. When I left the first time, I asked him, Mark, what are you going to miss about me when I'm gone? And he just laughed. He's a great guy to allow me to end up like this. I sure do appreciate it.
Got a lot of family that love and respect you.
All of us.
Yeah.
It goes 2 ways. I have another daughter, Nikki Lott. She lives in Atlanta. I couldn't have more beautiful daughters than I have right now. You're all great.
You got Steve.
Yeah, we have Steve.
Brother.
Yeah. In fact, I was just texting him today, telling me it's going to be exciting moving my own house.
Yeah.
Exciting the way that I was able to stay here with you guys. And I got to know Abby better because I didn't really know Abby. Didn't have a lot of time around her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been real nice.
She's enjoyed it. Remember she kept saying, why are you getting a house? Why don't you just live with us?
Yeah. Mark spanked her for that.
You know it.
Well, I love you, Dad.
I love you too, Sam.
Thank you for always being there for me.